The High Income Child Benefit Charge, HICBC, what a mouthful here. In this week's video, I'm going to be talking about the High Income Child Benefit Charge, what it is, who it applies to, what the consequences are of not complying with the legislation in respect to that charge in terms of tax, and how you can best deal with that. Hi folks, my name is Hamoud. I am a business finance fixer, accountant and author of the book I Hate Numbers and founder of the firm of the same name. For the last 30 odd years, I've been helping thousands of business owners like yourself make more money, reduce their stress and anxiety as well as their tax liabilities, and have the businesses they aspire to. I want that for you. Let's crack on with the video. Now, the High Income Child Benefit Charge, let's first of all see what that relates to. Now, if you are in a relationship and you've got children, you're either married or you're living together as though you're married, same-sex relationship, whatever title you prefer to take, and one of you in that relationship earns over £50,000 and you're claiming child benefit, then there is a clawback of that child benefit that you've been receiving. Now, a few things I want to clarify. First of all, let's look at the ceiling of the £50,000. Now, that £50,000, by the way, is based on what's called adjusted net income, which I'm going to call ANI for short. Now, adjusted net income is your total taxable income, less any things like gift aid, trading losses if you happen to be self-employed, gross contributions into your pension. They're taken off that income, and if it's still over £50,000 and you're claiming child benefit, there's a clawback. Now, the clawback is 1% for every £100 that you have over the £50,000. The ceiling is £60,000. Once you go over £60,000 adjusted net income, then all of the child benefit you received in that particular tax year is clawed back from you. Now, the second thing to take on board is there's either one of you in that relationship that earns over £50,000. So peculiarly, you could have a couple in a relationship where both parties are earning £49,999 each. So you can have a situation where in that relationship, each of the individuals is earning £49,999. In that case, and the child benefit is being claimed, there is no clawback. If, however, one of the parties doesn't actually earn any income, might be a stay-at-home parent, and the other party earns over £50,000, then there will be a clawback of child benefit. Now, it might sound very unfair in inequities, but that's the rules as they're outlined in current legislation. The next thing is the responsibility to consider. Now, it's the responsibility of the individual taxpayer, who is the high earner in that case, to actually make sure that declaration is made. Typically, that's normally done via the mechanism of the personal self-assessment tax return. The tax that's due can be collected, by the way, via your PAYE coding if you happen to be in employment, but the actual declaration is made through the personal tax return. So let's summarise where we are so far. You've got this idea that a high income earner, anyone who earns over £50,000 in a relationship, child benefit is being claimed, there will be a clawback. Once you go over 60, all of it is clawed back. Next, this idea that you've got to make that declaration via your self-assessment tax return. Now, the problem it creates is many people are not necessarily aware, not through any deliberate evasion mechanisms, but they're not actually aware, despite HMRC saying they've done a marketing campaign, that there's this benefit charge that actually exists. Now, if you do not declare that, by the way, and HMRC find out, then potentially not only will you experience penalties, not only will you experience interest that's levied on that underpaid tax, that tax that hasn't been clawed back, then there's going to be problems that are going to be compounding onto as such. So what do we need to do? If you think you're in that situation and you haven't previously declared that child benefit, and HMRC aren't the speediest folks on the block, by the way, then you need to make sure you step forward, contact your accountant, contact your advisor. If you don't have an advisor or somebody to represent you, then give us a call. Details provided in the show notes, and we can help you out there. Failure to act, by the way, and ignorance of the law is no excuse, potentially will mean penalties that can be quite excessive for non-notification. Daily filing penalties can be levied as well as the interest on top of it. The option is, by the way, if you prefer not to experience that going forward, you can stop claiming the child benefit, but in some situations you may see that as an interest-free loan. Claim the child benefit to see you through the year, do the tax return and then pay it all back. That choice is entirely up to you. However, folks, if you don't act, there will be problems. Now, before I say goodbye on this week's I Hate Numbers video, please do check out the show notes because I have a free, yes, I said that word, free webinar called Taking the Stress Out of Your Tax Returns. Now, in my own firm, I Hate Numbers, we're pretty much broken the back of filing all our clients' tax returns, but I'm conscious there are approximately 2 million people who do not file their tax returns in plenty of time and cut it quite close to the wire. 660,000 people do not file until it's too late, and therefore they get fines and penalties. And for those of you who are preparing your tax returns for the first time, or you've done it for several years, you're doing it on a DIY basis, check out the free webinar, and I'm going to go through what the tax return involves, things that you can claim for, what to do if you don't have the funds to actually pay any taxes due, and outline the regime as it is on personal tax returns in the UK. So check out the show notes. Hopefully I can see you there. And folks, if you feel there's somebody who's going to benefit in your network of hearing this video, please pass it on. The more eyeballs that we get on this video, the more compliant people can become, the more problems that we avoid as well. Until next time, folks, take care.